Hi everyone. Today I want to do a little show and tell. I want to show you my current firearm, and later I'll tell you what I do and don't like about it.
Pew 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 pew.
I carry the LifeCard 22 pistol. It's very James Bond-esque. It kind of looks like a tape cassette when it's folded up. We'll zoom in on it for you. But it's only half an inch thick. Some people say it's the world's thinnest gun. And it weighs less than 7 ounces.
Is that 7 troy ounces?
No, it's 7 proper ounces. So that's actually less than the troy ounce, correct?
Yeah.
So it's even lighter than 7 ounces of gold. It's about the size, well, it's a little smaller, but close to the size of a deck of cards. And it unfolds. So if you take this here, there are 2 latches. One is to unfold the gun, and as you can see, they're actually on both sides of the firearm, and you can pull the latch to unfold the gun. There is a plastic sliding door here that stores up to 4 rounds. This latch on the top part of the gun opens the barrel where you would load each round, and then you would pull this hammer here, which is a little tricky, and then you have the trigger here, which is full size, and then you're ready to shoot.
Right in the neck. Look at the aim.
Yeah, so I remember when we went out to buy a firearm for you, you really, really liked this one. I think it was love at first sight.
It absolutely was. I knew I had to have it. I liked how kind of nifty it was, like kind of like a gadget. But I mean, really, primarily it was the size and the weight of this LifeCard that I loved. I knew I could put it in my clutch and take it out with me at night. And also that because it's folded the way it is, that I would never have to worry about accidental discharge. It feels very safe to carry. It has a full-size handle, which I really like. And it has latches on both sides to unfold it. So it could be used if you're left-handed or right-handed. And when you shoot it, it has very little recoil, which is one of my favorite things about it. It's really fun to shoot.
So when you say full-size handle, does that mean like full-size, like a full-size candy bar or a king-size candy bar that just keeps getting smaller and smaller? Or can you actually get a good handle on it, or a good grip on it?
I mean, the gun is small, so I guess it would be like an inflation-adjusted full-size handle.
Shrinkflation?
Yeah.
Shrinkflation,
it's a little small.
full-size?
But you can get it actually fits, like your hand can comfortably grasp it and pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Just like any other gun, it feels, once it's in your hand, it feels very much like the size of a regular handgun.
Okay, interesting. And you know, the word that comes to mind when you talk about how it's easy to use, equally easy to use for left or right-handed shooters, is the word ambisinister. Do you happen to know what that means?
No.
So most people are familiar with the word ambidextrous, which means you're equally capable with both hands, right? Ambisinister actually means you're equally incapable with both hands.
I thought it was gonna be like equally evil.
And it's a very Latin-esque way of saying basically you have 2 left feet or 2 left hands, that you're awkward with both hands. I feel like, at least in my hands, this gun is very ambisinister.
Oh no, you've shot it before. You don't like it?
I have a hard time getting in accuracy too far above maybe 5 yards. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a great shot to begin with. Although I am if you're my enemy. But I have a hard time clustering it within 5 rounds with this.
That's probably a function of the minimal sight this gun has.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a drawback. It just has that little ridge that is down the center of the barrel. You can't shoot it accurately from probably more than, what do you think, 3 yards? Maybe less?
That's what I'm able to get it at.
Yeah. Another drawback, though, is that the chamber only holds 1 round at a time. So every time you fire the weapon, you have to manually reload the round into the chamber. It's not very quick.
Yeah, I can see that being a really big problem for a lot of reasons. First of all, if you have somebody attacking you, you have to load the gun ahead of time. You have to pull one of the rounds out of the magazine chamber, which is not spring loaded. It's just a chamber of loose rounds. you have to pull it out and put it in, and then pull the hammer back.
Yeah.
And that's just, you have to pull it out, open the LifeCard up to the point where it clicks. You can feel it and hear it. There's a click that it opens at about 125-degree angle, and then you have to pull a second latch, open the barrel, put the round in, close the latch, and then finally you can point it at the person, and you've got questionable sights, and it's a .22 caliber bullet. So if you miss the first time, I think you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're going to have to politely ask whoever's attacking you, hey, can you give me a couple seconds? I need to reload this. It's going to take me about 2, 3, maybe 15 seconds.
Sorry, just hold on a moment. I need to reload this.
Pause. Time out.
No, I understand that. I recognize that is definitely a limitation to this LifeCard. That being said, there is the possibility that just a shot, even in the direction, if it doesn't hit the individual that is in active pursuit of you, maybe that could scare them off. But if it doesn't, then yeah, it's almost going to be impossible to have any opportunity to reload that gun while being actively pursued.
I think the idea of a warning shot is apocryphal. I think it's a nice idea, but when I talk to people who are seriously involved in combat and law enforcement, or even who just have a lot of experience with it, your grandfather comes to mind. They say warning shots are ill-advised.
Yeah,
the better thing to do if you're going to draw a gun at all is to fire to completely disable whatever your target is.
Yeah.
And we were talking about disabling. I mean, .22 caliber rounds, I have nothing against them, but they are smaller. And the simple kinetic energy formula is 1/2 mass times velocity squared.
Yeah.
This is not pushing out a high foot per second or meters per second velocity. So you're losing some on that. And of course, all handguns, they have a pretty narrow and low range for velocity. But on top of that, you're firing out mass that's pretty small.
Yeah.
So even if you hit them, first of all, you might graze them. You might only get them maybe over the top of the arm, or maybe even the meat of the arm in a non-lethal shot.
Yeah.
Get it embedded in muscle, whatever. And I have experience with dealing with these post-mortem wounds and injuries, so I know a little bit about it. Even if you can hit people, let's say directly in the heart, and you have laceration of the right ventricle, which is the anterior-most ventricle in the heart, that still people can still take 10, 15, 20 seconds, even a minute to become completely incapacitated.
Yeah.
And that assumes there aren't any drugs on board. Throw some drugs on board, like ketamine, you're going to have some problems. So I think you really have to have a firearm to be really effective for self-defense. I think you need something that, if it's going to use .22 caliber ammunition, has at least 6, 8, 10 rounds. So you can go boom, 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 and assuming 4, 5, 6 rounds hit your target, that's stopping power.
Yeah, I do agree. I think this gun probably serves more as a deterrent than it could serve to be a lethal weapon. Let's just back up one step, though, because another drawback to this gun, no pun intended, is that pulling back that hammer is really tough. If it's dark or I'm panicked, I'm not sure I could quickly distinguish the top from the bottom, latches to unfold the gun, and then that hammer has a lot of resistance. So I would not be able to draw this weapon very quickly, and so that is a huge barrier to ever being able to really use it at all.
Yeah, that does sound like a problem. And I've seen you, to your credit, I think you've done a really good job at practicing and getting muscle memory with it unloaded and pulling it out and getting used to the action and how to unfold it and everything else.
Yeah.
Which is really good. I think it's good. But you've been really doing that only under standardized conditions. For example, 75 degrees room air, dry, cool, but not too hot or too cold, not raining, not dirty, not slimy, not anything else.
That's fair. I don't know that we can ever really test how well I would handle the gun under pressure, but I would like to test out and see how quickly I can draw this weapon. So
I know some ways to test how well you can handle it under pressure.
Oh,
you probably wouldn't like any of them.
No. Let's just cut to this.
Go. 4 seconds.
Okay, let's see if I can do it a little faster. 4 seconds isn't bad though, really.
Go.
Go.
Okay.
Oh, that's bad. Start over. That was bad. How do I get this open again? Oh.
How do I get this open again?
Okay, I got it now. Okay. Okay, let's go. 1. Go.
Okay. All right, good. That's 5 seconds.
So 4 seconds is my best, right?
4 or 5. 60. 5 seconds.
How many?
5 seconds.
So 5 seconds is probably my
5
best
seconds.
time.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it takes about 5 seconds to unfold it, pull back the hammer, and actually fire the gun. About 5 seconds. And that's with pretty much just throwing it up and not really having great aim. So 5 seconds.
All right, so as you can see, it's not the quickest fire, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and the best gun that you can have is the one you'll carry. So if you'll actually carry this around, or you do actually carry this around, it's better to have this than it is to have a 38 caliber or 45 Magnum revolver or whatever sitting back at home.
That doesn't fit in my clutch, so I don't take it.
Right. So this is better than nothing, but I think you could probably still do better.
Yeah. So this is an episode of Alexis Questions after all, so I'll turn the question to you, the viewers. Do you carry a firearm? And if you do, what do you carry? And do you have any suggestions for me? I'm in the market for something a little quicker to fire. I'd still like it to be small, sleek, and discreet that can fit in my clutch, but also easy to pull back the hammer or chamber the round and shoots multiple rounds before having to reset the action. Any suggestions? Let me know. And stay tuned as I search for my next gun.